without no why, there's no success. Like, you guys need to understand that not having a deep why is gonna always make you fall into those bad habits and to your old self and not being consistent. And I'm sure it's always happened to you guys because it happened to me multiple times. And I wanted to explain, kind of like how I did it and how it can help you. Doesn't matter what if you're a barber or not, because I feel like this is like the thing that holds a lot of people from actually accomplishing their goals or working towards their progress of their journey, or just something that they always wanted to start, yet they never accomplish or even get to it. Because myself, especially like during the first of my journey, like I was trying to post content. Like I'm somebody that wants something super super quick. Like I want results fast, and I'm sure a lot of you guys also have the same thing or the same mindset. And I always blame it, like, bro, like I'm trying to do everything, like I'm not seeing the results. Like I was so like attached to just the business aspect that like I was so focused on like just wanting the result. Yet I kind of like took a glance back and I looked at my life. Like I was like, how is my personal life? Like what am I doing with my life? And if I already struggled with personal like developments, like me just doing anything, like how was it gonna reflect on my business? And so like, and even to be honest, like recently, like even before because I moved to Miami about 7 months ago. Like that's actually the reason why I moved from my hometown from Chicago, having a super stable business, cutting hair, making consistent 20K months at 19, 20 years old. So I was pretty much comfortable, where I was at. I was kind of like on autopilot, and this is actually the reason why I moved. To be quite honest, this is when like the consistency actually like put me to the test. And the reason why I actually moved, I fired all my clients. I pursued, like not helping others how to scale. And I think one of my biggest advice that can help you, just like how it helped me, is just take a glance at how your life is. Like we put the barbing to the side. And that's exactly what I did. Like I looked at, was I going to the gym? Was I eating healthy? How was my relationship with my family? How was like having friendships? And I was not going to the gym. I was not eating healthy. I was barely at home, with the family, because I was always working. And I was like, damn, like I'm only looking at it from a lens of like the business aspect. Yeah, we always tend to forget about our life outside of the business, outside of work. And I started there. Like I started going to the gym. I started eating healthy. I started spending more time with my family, because I feel like a lot of us, we, even when we go to the gym, I'm gonna go to the gym at least 5 days a week. I'm gonna start eating healthy, cooking meals, meal prepping. But then there's like that 1 week, or there's like that specific one day, like I don't feel like doing it. And one day turns into 2 days, 2 days turns into a week. And by the time you know it, you already fell off. And it could go the same thing with barbering. Like many of us like post content. We make some New Year resolutions and all these goals for January. And many of us said that we were gonna post, every single day, be consistent. And some of us already fell off. Like some of us already stopped recording content, stopped posting daily. And it's like, you need to wake up, because I'm sure you said the same thing last year, and you're falling into the same habits over and over and over. And that's exactly what I wanted to explain, because with no why, you're not able to find success or even go towards the same path, because you have to find your why. And how you can actually find your why is going back to your like childhood. How was it growing with parents? How was it like, you're in childhood? Like that's kind of like how you can find it, because like that's how I found it. And it can always change, or you can always add more into it. But like, growing up, immigrant parents, I always talk to my parents about their life before me and my siblings. And my dad, they're both from Mexico. My dad left his house at 16. My mom as well, like she came to the US. And it's like, this might resonate with a lot of you guys, but many of us have like immigrant parents that they actually like risked their whole life for us. Wanting a better future for their kids, for their generations. And we tend to get so comfortable and we just live on autopilot. Like, our parents gave their whole life away for you and myself to have a better future. And we tend to just throw our life away and, live on autopilot, take it for granted. Like, you can't buy time back. As the day goes on and on and on, New Year 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030, and then you look back and you kept falling into the same habits over and over and over. Like, my why was not just, oh, I want to help my parents. No, like as having like, my Mexican parents, I always saw everything as an advantage. My dad was, hard work ethic, always worked hard, and I'm thankful that he taught me that. Like, now I'm able to apply it to my life. And my mom was more like, encouraging. She always like supported me, and sometimes I would blame it on my dad, like, oh, like my dad never showed me love, or I would always see my friends, growing up from school, tell me, oh, like my dad took me here, like bro, like my dad would give me money for my grade, and I had good grades, like middle school, even high school. There was times I had straight A's and B's. Maybe towards my senior year I had like a C. I always try to find an excuse to like run away from me trying to pursue what I wanted, and like me using like my why as like for my parents was like one of the first reasons, because you gotta go down to your roots. Like, you go down to your roots, your family, growing up as a kid, siblings, and that's kind of where you start like developing like some sort of why. And when I started my journey, it was on COVID. We were in a lockdown, no school, no work, and like nobody in my family could Twitter. Like, my dad had like some Walmart clippers that you needed batteries to charge, and I was like, I told my brother, like, let me start cutting you up. He was like, hell nah. Like, I paid my brother so I could cut him up, and a lot of us start to make more excuses, like, oh, it's not the right time right now, or I don't have the money right now to like start, or bro, like people around me don't even trust me, and it's like, when are you gonna stop making excuses and finally take action? Because like my dad was bald, so like he only had a Walmart clipper. I didn't have the knowledge. I was watching 360 Jeezy to even like learn, but I didn't know anything. And I was like, oh, like, but what if people are gonna judge me? Like, what if people are gonna judge me from posting the videos, like, bro, like you fucked him up, like the haircut's horrible. Just finally take action and take a step forward to finally get closer to that finish line, because time just keeps going on and on and on. You can't stop the clock and be like, yo, hold up, give me 1 second. No, time keeps going on, and a lot of you guys always find excuses for the perfect time. And like I said, it's been like 7 months since I moved to Miami, and I mean, definitely was hard. Like, it was hard, leaving my family. I was born and raised in Chicago, so like I never even thought I was gonna move out, out of my city. I was like, I'm gonna stay there. I was making good money. Yeah, I always pushed for more because I knew that I was getting comfortable, and like the reason why I pushed so hard in my business, like when I started my barber journey to like the point that I stopped, like I became the most expensive barber because like I had like so much drive every single day. I woke up, get to work, edit my videos. At that time I didn't have an editor. I would edit my content, I would record consistently, post consistently. Why? Because not only like did I use my parents as fuel, but during my journey I had so much judgment, like so much people doubted me. It was horrible, and I used all that like pain, like I wanted to like earn that respect, that I didn't have, especially like my journey. And I'm sure like a lot of that, like I'm sure a lot of you guys also kind of went through that. Like, that's what kept me striving. I mean, 7 months ago, like I moved to Miami. I basically fired all my clients. I retired as a barber. Completely went cold turkey on my business. I could have had two options. I could have either went on autopilot, stay consistent 20K months, or take the risk to leave my hometown, start a new business, and I did, and I decided to move away. Now I live in Miami, so I'm basically like a day drive back from home, and now I help barbers how to scale just like how I did, because I believe that my progress can be spread out to other barbers, so inspire them and actually get them results, because I was in their shoes as well, and barbers deserve to know the new generation of how to scale on social media to actually have financial freedom. So like, stop waiting for the right time. Like, who gives a fuck if your friends are making fun of you? Nobody cares. Like, stop thinking about, if your friends are gonna judge you or they're gonna support. Sometimes maybe parents don't even believe in you. Use it as fuel. Like, don't use it as a discouragement to not do it anymore. Use it as fuel to prove them wrong. Like, you're probably still in your low 20s. Like, you have time to actually mess up. And actually, and if it doesn't work, then you can do something else. But why wait for the right time? Or never even take action? And then think, what if I would have done this? You don't want to look back at your life when you're 30 and be like, damn, like, I could have done that. But I never believed in myself when it's too late. One thing that nobody tells you about, wanting to pursue and taking the risk is that sometimes you have to leave the things that you love the most behind. My mom sent me a video of my little brother, like 2 days ago. I was really like close with my little brother. He was sleeping with me every single day, and now being away from him and my family, it does get tough. And I wanted to share it with you guys that sometimes to achieve your success and get closer to that finish line, like, it does require some type of sacrifice.
How do you feel about Jorge moving from home?
I feel sad because he's far away.
Like, you don't sleep in the bed anymore. And you used to sleep on the bed with him. And you don't want to sleep on the bed anymore. You want to sleep on the couch.
Yeah, because George is not here.
If he can hear you right now, what will you tell him?
I would say that, George, I wish you can come back.
Okay, cry. And you think he's gonna come back one day?
I love you, my brother, and I wish you could come back for all these years.
Stop waiting for the right time, because your time is now. Like, there's no more time to waste. Like, if you want to start learning how to cut hair, do it. If you want to start learning more on social media, then do it. There's so many barbers that you guys already seen do it. Even maybe your coworkers or your friends, and you're still waiting for the right time. Like, you could have been there, but because you never took action, you're still in the same position that you are right now. And if nothing changes, you'll probably stay there for the next year or two. You need to move with purpose. Like, why did you start cutting hair? Why do you wake up every single day? Like, what's your motive daily? And when you find your why, you'll have that fuel and that desire to, like, wake up every single day and get to work.